Hello! We just had Fanfest this past weekend, where they announced drastic changes to basically like everything in the game. So I want to talk about it. I have a lot of feelings. A lot of feelings of trepidation, but also excitement. And I gotta just get these feelings out and into the world. So let's talk about it. Okay. First, Evercold, the new expansion. They show the first part of the trailer, and you know it's only like the first third of the trailer. There's a lot of trailer to come out next, but I gotta tell you, I am so excited for the story. What Square Enix demonstrated, I think more than anything else over the Fanfest, is that they are listening to feedback. I think almost to a fault, but there is a lot of feedback for Dawn Trail's story because 7.0 was incredibly bad. Very, very bad. The worst MSQ I've ever played. But since then, it has gotten better. I liked basically the 0.2 patch onward. I really liked the 0.4 patch. The 0.5 patch is tomorrow. I wanted to make this video before that so I can just not worry about talking about that and make a different video. I am extremely excited for where the story is going to go. And it, at least from the trailer's point of view, the trailer was so much better than Dawn Trail's. So much better than Dawn Trail's. Dawn Trail's trailer was like a nothing. It's like, oh, we're in a jungle, great. This one, like, there's stuff going on right from the get-go. I'm so excited, and that's all I'm gonna say, because we really don't know much about the story. My only thing is, I think the new villain, Hamarut, is that her name? I think she's gonna be huge. I think she's gonna be a huge player. I think she's gonna be probably like, you know, the Emmett Selk of Evercold. That's my only guess, is that she's gonna play such a huge role in the story. But let's move on, because there's so much to talk about, right? Weekly/seasons. This was kind of a weird thing for me because I felt like they spent a little bit of time talking about this, but I feel like it's kind of more of a tweak than a change, because we already have weekly and seasons. Okay, like the most important tomes are on a weekly. The seasons already exist. There's a this there's a progression that starts on the even patches and goes until the odd patch, and then it resets on the next even patch. We already have that. I'm sure the tweaks that they're going to make for this is probably going to make it a little bit more convenient. Basically, like, instead of waiting until the next day to do an expert, I guess you can just do a ton of experts to get, you know, your weekly points or whatever. I'm curious to see how they do it, but honestly, my takeaway from the weekly/season talk was more of a tweak, not really a big change. Moving on. Reborn and Evolved. Basically, they're redoing every job in the game. They doubled the amount of jobs, functionally. There's now twice the amount of jobs in the game. They all have this, you know, there's a same skin, but there's twice the amount of jobs, because they're going to play completely differently. The demonstration of Dragoon, like, Dragoon is completely different from Evolved and Reborn. I think it was obvious that the intended way to move forward is to use Evolved. But I also think that they are terrified that it is going to backfire, and that is why Reborn exists. Like, I was talking to my friends, and like a lot of them were saying, like, it's weird that there's two versions of each job, and they would rather there just be one. Like, if you're gonna go to Evolved, just make everyone go to Evolved. But again, they're terrified. Because if they drastically change how every job plays, and people don't like it, their game is dead. Right? People will just quit the game. So Reborn exists as a parachute in case this backfires dramatically. them saying that Evolved will do more damage, even if just a little bit, like they literally said that Evolved is going to do more damage. That's the indication that like you're supposed to play Evolved. But you could play Reborn if you want, you know? Like you can still do damage. You know, you can still clear all the content they said, but you know, I do Savage and I do Ultimates. There's plenty of times when we're 1% off. And if half the group is playing Reborn, that 1% could be solved by them just playing Evolved instead, right? So like if you're doing high-end content, you're gonna want to do the one that does more damage, right? So it's clear to me that Evolved is the intended way to move forward, and that is terrifying because perhaps I'm the weird one, especially if you spend a lot of time on the internet and hear a lot of content creators talk about Final Fantasy XIV, but I really like the game how it is right now. Final Fantasy XIV is still my favorite game of all time. My favorite thing to do in Final Fantasy XIV is Extreme, Savage, and Ultimate. You know, basically I just like raiding in Final Fantasy XIV. I like the game right now. And so when people say that the game is going to change dramatically, that makes me a little nervous because I like the game right now. It's my favorite game right now. They could have the same kind of like battle content in Evercold as in Dawntrail, and I would be thrilled. They don't have to make any changes to the battle content for it to still be my favorite game in Evercold. But they are making drastic changes. So I'm a little afraid, you know? I really hope that I like Evolved. Right now, I'm afraid that I won't because it kind of sounds like with all the consolidation of buttons, my rotation is going to be 1 1 1 2 2 2 1 1 1 3 1 1 1 2 2 2, and that I don't like that. I just don't like that. I don't like pressing the same button over and over again. I like moving my fingers around. It feels good to press the right button at the right time. That's the kind of satisfaction that just makes fun for me. So if it's just the same button over and over again, that's not fun for me. So I don't know. I'm afraid, but you know, when Evercold comes out in January, I will change to Evolve. I will go to my target dummy. I'll map out my new buttons, try and figure out the basics of what's going on, and I will play through the MSQ with Evolved, and we'll see what happens. I hope that I love it. I hope that it's better. And that's really where we're at right now, because we don't have enough information to talk definitively. And I'm sure we'll talk about it more going forward. 2-minute meta is gone. Gone. I don't have... Oh, can't type for some reason. Gone. I don't have huge feelings about this. I know a lot of people hated the 2-minute meta, but it's all I've ever known. I didn't start really seriously raiding until Endwalker, and the 2-minute meta was a thing there. I did some Savages in Shadowbringers, but like not a lot to really say I've experienced raiding in Shadowbringers. But I've done every single Extreme, every single Savage. I've done 4 Ultimates since Endwalker. And I don't mind the 2-minute meta. It makes sense in my brain. It feels good when the whole group is in sync and you hit everything perfectly, and it like I said before, it feels good to press the right buttons at the right times. And so the 2-minute meta, I didn't mind at all, and sometimes I even enjoyed when, you know, we really did it well. That being said, if the 2-minute meta's gone, I'm not that bothered either. The second tier, I mained Viper, which doesn't have a 2-minute buff, and there were times when I was in groups that didn't have any buffs. I had a Viper, a Black Mage, a machinist, and a samurai, right? And none of the other healers that have like 2-minute buffs. So essentially, like when I had a group like that, we were playing without a 2-minute meta. there were no buffs to put into the buff window. We could just press our buttons. So essentially, like you could play that right now technically, and I wasn't bothered. So I'm not that worried about it, but I didn't hate it either. Again, it's one of those things where like I like the game now, so you're talking about changing it, so I'm a little trepidatious, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Data center is huge. We don't have to data center travel. I don't have to go to Ether anymore to raid. I can stay in my home world on Crystal, and I can have access to all of Party Finder. That's huge because I am a Party Finder warrior. I love Party Finder. I genuinely love Party Finder. I do everything in Party Finder. And the fact that now I don't have to travel to Ether, because there were some times if I forgot to like log out on Ether at certain times, where I couldn't raid because Ether was full, it was congested. Or there was times where I would be on Ether and one of my friends would be like, "Hey, can you help me do this thing?" And I'm like, "I can't, because if I go back to Crystal, I won't be able to come back to Ether, and then I can't raid for the rest of the day." And that was annoying. So we're gonna have one Party Finder for all of North America. That is huge. That's gonna be great. I can't wait for that to be a thing. Gear sharing. So they made the change where, or they're going to make the change where, if you have like a main that has, let's just like max item level, their best, and you have another job that doesn't, you can sync your item level, but you're not going to have like materia or something. This is cool in theory, to where like if I just feel like playing a job I don't normally play, I can just play it and I don't have to worry about gear. That's cool. Obviously, if you can't have materia, you won't be able to do that in like high-end content. Like you won't be able to do that in Ultimate, right? But like if you're Biss in one and you're going into Savage and you want to play something else, you might be able to get away with no materia in Savage if you're Biss, because that's probably still stronger than minimum item level with materia. I don't know. It sounds great for like just messing around. We're gonna talk about Party Finder later, so we'll come back to this. 3 difficulties. I think this is a mistake, honestly. So right now we have normal mode, which is just story. I mean, anyone's gonna clear it, and we have Savage. And they're gonna add another difficulty in between. Okay, I'll just call it mid for now. A lot of people think this is an easy win, because a lot of people, and this is what I'm talking about when I said I think they're listening to feedback almost to a fault, because a lot of people say that they want something in between normal and Savage. They think the jump is too far, but we already have that. That's extremes. I can't imagine what another difficulty would look like. So if we just assume that the difficulty of this middle raid content is the difficulty of extremes, the people that are complaining about not having a middle difficulty, they're not doing extremes either. Like the people that do extremes are overwhelmingly the same people that are doing Savage. Sure, you're gonna find someone who does extremes and doesn't done Savages. They exist, but overwhelmingly, I believe those are the same people. Because I talk to them, like they're people in my free company, they're people online. There's an enormous amount of people in the player base that the minimal amount, if there's any chance that they're gonna die, they just don't do the content. It's bizarre to me. It's so strange. I don't think there's a huge population of players that are going to do this middle content for the same reasons that they're not doing extremes. I just don't think that population exists. And what I'm afraid of is that this middle piece of content is gonna kind of do what happens in WoW, where like, because they have 4 difficulties in WoW, right? But we'll talk about like heroic and mythic, right? People who do mythic are expected to do heroic to get gear in order to make mythic easier. I do not want that. I want to do savage. Imagine, like right now, what's great about savage is if you want to do savage, you just do savage. And I'm sure technically you can do that still in Evercold, but if there's gear upgrades to do in this middle content, and there's like item level upgrades to be had there, then people are going to be expected to do the middle and then to get the item level upgrades and then go into savage. So the expectation is people are going to have higher item level, and it might even be I'm worried about how they're going to balance it after that. What I'm imagining is like, imagine you're trying to do savage, right? But every week on top of progging savage, you're also expected to clear 4 extremes, and that sounds annoying, right? Like I like extremes, but I don't want to be worrying about doing those when I just want to do savage. So if every week I'm expected to clear 4 extremes and then do savage because there's gear upgrades in the extremes, that just sounds awful. I don't want that. So I hope that that's not the case. I hope that the upgrade system, however they do it with these like weekly or seasonal points that they're doing, is done in a fashion where if I just want to do savage, I'm not expected to do this middle piece of content. I just don't want to do that. I want to do savage. I want to do the hard one. And the last few the gear sharing and the 3 difficulties makes me a little worried about Party Finder. Because like I said, I love Party Finder. I do everything in Party Finder. And I'm worried that if people gear share, once they get their first piece of gear, they're going to stop going into Party Finder. And I'm worried that there's some... I know I said there's not a big population of people for the middle content, but there's going to be some people that do it, obviously, because it's in the game. It'll be in the game. I'm worried that we will cannibalize a little bit of the player base that do the middle difficulty and then they just don't do savage. Like people that are currently doing savage, they're going to do the middle difficulty and then they're not going to do savage. So I'm worried that there might be Party Finder slowing down faster, which I wouldn't like, because I like Party Finder. I'm still doing, I don't need to do V clears. I still do V clears every Tuesday because I just find it fun. So I'm a little worried about that. Now, to be fair, we're going to have a bigger pool of people because the data center isn't going to be an issue. We're going to have all of North America on Party Finder. So even if I'm right in that there might be some issues there, perhaps the sheer number of people in Party Finder will fix it. So that is something to consider as well. I know it sounds like I'm just talking about negative things. I am extremely excited for Evercold. I am so excited for Evercold. I honestly think it's going to be great, but I can't not also be worried about my favorite game getting drastic changes. So, oh yeah, new jobs. There's 2 new jobs going on, right? I'm not sure, like Yoshi P said that like he had the t-shirt with what was his name? Ritatin? The double shield guy. So like double shield tank question mark. I can't type for shit today. I feel like Yoshi P's t-shirts are normally incredibly nebulous. Like you kind of have to twist your brain into knots to make sense of it, right? Like for example, he had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles t-shirt, in reference to Pictomancer, because the turtles are named after artists, right? Like, that's really cool. I find it hard to believe that he would just have Riditon with 2 shields on his arms, and the new tank is just a guy with 2 shields, right? Like, that seems too obvious to me. So I'm skeptical that it's a double shield job, just because I don't trust him. So who knows? And then we're gonna get a Fizz ranged. I think it'd be cool if we had a whip class. The RP community would love it, you know. Yoshi P knows his audience. I think a whip job would be the Fizz range. I think that would be incredibly popular, just because, you know, I know you Final Fantasy people. So I'll just put like whip. Watch me whip. So yeah, I'm extremely excited. I hope that my concerns are unfounded. I'm willing and I hope that I'm wrong about a few of these things. I hope that I just love Evolved. I really hope that I just love Evolved. The 2-minute meta being gone, it's fine. You know, like I said, like I had no problem with the 2-minute meta before, but a lot of people did. So it should be fine. Data center travel is just a huge win. We don't have to travel anymore. We can just stay in Party Finder. Gear share, possibly problematic. Hopefully not. The only downside to the gear share is, you know, people doing reclares might be doing them less. Which I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that that's just a non-issue. 3 difficulties. I don't want to do the middle difficulty. I want to do the hard one. And I don't want to be compelled to do the middle difficulty every week. So hopefully I won't have to, is my thing on that. Already talked about Party Finder and new jobs. I am extremely excited. I think the story is going to be great. And everything going forward sounds really exciting. So, do you agree with the stuff that I said? If not, let me know below. Maybe we can argue in the comments. Maybe not. Until next time, I'll probably make another video this week talking about the story from the 0.5 patch, which is tomorrow. I cannot wait. It's going to be so good. Have a good one.